Welcome to Howard Brown Barber and Beauty Institute. Today we are doing the review for electrical and electrical safety. Let's begin. Which of the following is true of electricity and the beauty and wellness industry? Electricity use in the beauty industry is limited to clippers and hair dryers. Most of the equipment that beauty professionals deal with is very dangerous. Most beauty professionals will not interact directly with electricity. Advanced electrical machines require an understanding of electrical history. If you chose D, advanced electrical machines require an understanding of electrical history, you are correct. How many of the services that beauty professionals offer their clients are impacted by electricity? Only a small handful of them, about half of them, most of them, all of them. If you chose D, all of them, you are correct. If you were opening a salon or spa, you would need to have a thorough understanding of electricity for all except which of the following reasons. You will rely on a variety of electrical devices, including lotion and oil heaters. You will need to be able to properly care for a variety of electrical devices. You will rely on lighting and air temperature controls for the comfort of your clients. You will need to be able to quick repair electrical devices when they malfunction. If you chose D, you will need to be able to quick repair electrical devices when they malfunction. You are correct. Electrical exhibits blank effects: magnetic and thermal, magnetic, magnetic and chemical, magnetic, thermal, and chemical. If you chose D, magnetic, thermal, and chemical, you are correct. Electricity does not occupy space, nor does it have mass. Occupies space and has mass. Occupies space but has no mass. Has mass but occupies no space. If you chose A, does not occupy space, nor does it have mass, you are correct. Copper is used in electrical wiring and electrical motors because it is a good insulator, it is a good conductor, it provides safeguards against electrocution, it is inexpensive. If you chose B, it is a good conductor, you are correct. Blank is a good example of a conductor: glass, tap water, cement, rubber. If you chose B, tap water, you are correct. Blank is a good example of an insulator: tap water, wood, steel, copper. If you chose B, wood, you are correct. Direct current is best differentiated against alternating current by which of the following statement? Direct current is the true form of electrical current, whereas alternating current is not. Direct current flows in one direction, whereas alternating current flows back and forth. direct current back and forth, whereas alternating current flows in one direction. Direct current is not truly an electrical current, whereas alternating current is. If you chose B, direct current flows in one direction, whereas alternating current flows back and forth, you are correct. Alternating current travels in only one direction, is most often found in batteries, is a rapid, interrupted current, is produced by chemical means. If you chose C, is a rapid, interrupted current, you are correct. Electrical current is measured by amperes, watts, ohms, volts. If you chose C, ohms, you are correct. Watts measure the pressure or force that pushes electrical current through a conductor, how much electrical energy is being used in 1 second, the strength of an electrical current, the resistance of electrical current. If you chose B, how much electrical energy is being used in 1 second, you are correct. Because you rely on a constant, even flow of electricity that is produced by chemical means for the wireless tools you use in your daily work, which of the following is the best suited to you? A direct current, an indirect current, an insulator, a non-conductor. If you chose A, a direct current, you are correct. A wire that is not large enough to carry the electrical current passing through it will save energy, not power the device, overheat, electrocute the user. If you chose C, overheat, you are correct. Blank is an example of an electrical safety device that you may encounter when working as a beauty and wellness professional in a salon or spa. A circuit breaker, a conductor, an alternating current, an ampere. If you chose A, a circuit breaker, you are correct. Blank is an electrical safety device that is designed to prevent excessive current from passing through a circuit by blowing out or melting when a wire becomes too hot from overloading the circuit with too much current. A fuse, an ampere, a circuit breaker, a non-conductor. If you chose a fuse, you are correct. Grounding is important because it prevents downed wires in storms. It protects against electrical shock. It turns direct current into alternating current. It turns conductors into non-conductors. If you chose B, it protects against electrical shock, you are correct. What is the third circular electrical connection on a 3-prong plug called? A circuit breaker, a grounding pin, a fuse, a ground fault interrupter. If you chose B, a grounding pin, You are correct. A GFI would most likely be required in a basement, office building, bathroom, bedroom. If you chose C, bathroom, you are correct. Which of the following is not good electrical safety advice? Read all electrical safety instructions carefully. Pull on the cord, not the plug, when disconnecting an electrical appliance. Inspect all electrical equipment regularly. Keep electrical cords off the floor and away from everyone's feet. If you chose B, pull on the cord, not the plug, when disconnecting an electrical appliance, you are correct. In order to practice good electrical safety, which of the following should you always do? Attempt to clean around electrical outlets while equipment is plugged in. Attempt to repair electrical appliances when they malfunction. Twist electrical cords to protect against a short circuit. Disconnect appliances when they are not in use. If you chose D, disconnect appliances when they are not in use, you are correct. If you receive a light shock sensation while using an electrical appliance, you should unplug the appliance from the wall, give the appliance a short break before using it again, continue using the appliance with caution, attempt to repair the appliance immediately. If you chose A, unplug the appliance from the wall, you are correct. Why are ground fault interrupter, GFI, receptacles strategically placed by all sinks and in all bathrooms where you work? GFIs are required in places where shock hazards are likely, such as near any running or sitting water. GFIs are most useful in spas because when multiple appliances are in use, GFIs must be in place. GFIs are most useful in spas because appliances that heat up can only operate when a GFI is in place. GFIs are required wherever direct current is transferred to alternate current, such as in bathrooms. If you chose C, GFIs are most useful in spas because appliances that heat up can only operate when a GFI is in place, you are correct. If you plug a blow dryer into the outlet on the wall and it immediately starts to spark, what should you do? You should wait for 5 minutes to see if the sparking stops. Then continue using the blow dryer. You should unplug the blow dryer and attempt to repair it before you plug it in again. You should unplug the blow dryer immediately and use another dryer until that one can be repaired. You should throw the blow dryer away and immediately call the fire department. If you chose C, you should unplug the blow dryer immediately and use another dryer until that one can be repaired. You are correct. If, while using the curling iron, you accidentally drop the equipment into a sink full of water, which of the following should you do? You should quickly unplug the curling iron from the outlet. You should quickly grab the iron out of the sink full of water. You should get anyone out of the salon and call the fire department. You should run over to the circuit breaker panel and shut down all power to the salon. If you chose A, you should quickly unplug the curling iron from the outlet. You are correct. What is the use of electrical currents to treat the skin called? Electrolysis, electrode, electrocution, electrotherapy. If you chose D, electrotherapy, you are correct. Blank is used as an applicator for directing electric current from an electrotherapy device to the client's skin. An electrode, fuse, an ohm, a modality. If you chose A, an electrode, you are correct. The poles of an electric current are either conductive or non-conductive, direct or alternating, left or right, positive or negative. If you chose D, positive or negative, you are correct. Which of the following best differentiates a positive's electrode from a negative electrode? The positive electrode has an electric charge, whereas the negative electrode does not. The positive electrode has no electric charge, whereas the negative electrode does. The positive electrode is called an anode, whereas the negative electrode is called cathode. The positive electrode is called a cathode, whereas the negative electrode is called an anode. If you chose C, the positive electrode is called an anode, whereas the negative electrode is called cathode, you are correct. A galvanic current has a positive and negative pole, is an indirect current, does not produce a chemical change, is a broken, inconsistent current. If you chose A, has a positive and negative pole, you are correct. When using cataphoresis, you can expect a closing of pores, a stimulation of nerves, a softening of tissues, an increase in blood supply. If you chose A, closing of pores, you are correct. When using anaphoresis, you can expect a stimulation of nerves, a decrease in blood supply, a closing of pores, a hardening of tissues. If you chose A, stimulation of nerves, you are correct. Microcurrent would be most useful in slowing healing time for acne lesions, removing the natural protective barrier of the skin, reducing redness and inflammation, decrease muscle tone. If you chose C, reducing redness and inflammation, you are correct. Tesla high frequency current is used for improving germicidal action, slowing blood circulation, decreasing elimination and absorption, decreasing skin metabolism. If you chose A, improving germicidal action, you are correct. What is a condition that prohibits certain treatments called? A conductor, a contraindicator, a catalyst, a cathode. If you chose B, a contraindicator, you are correct. If you are using electrical currents to treat your client's skin in an electrotherapy procedure, which of the following is true of this treatment that you are giving your client? The currents being used must be either negative or positive. Both cannot be used. You are not using a probe in this procedure. You must be using Tesla high-frequency current. The current being used is considered a modality. If you chose D, the current being used is considered a modality, you are correct. If you are using galvanic current on your client as part of their skin treatment, which of the following would best explain why you would want to choose to use cataphoresis instead of anaphoresis? You are trying to expand your client's blood vessels. You are trying to soften your client's tissues. You are trying to open your client's pores. You are attempting to soothe your client's nerves. If you chose D, you are attempting to soothe your client's nerves, you are correct. If you are using galvanic current on your client as part of their skin treatment, which of the following would best explain why you would want to choose to use anaphoresis instead of cataphoresis? You are trying to soften your client's tissues. You are attempting to soothe your client's nerves. You are trying to close your client's pores. You are trying to expand your client's blood vessels. If you chose A, you are trying to soften your client's tissues, you are correct. The electromagnetic spectrum is the name given to all forms of energy except for gamma rays, all forms of microwaves, all forms of energy except for X-rays, all forms of energy that exist. If you chose D, all of the forms of energy that exist, you are correct. The type of energy that is most associated with nuclear power plants is X-rays, radio waves, gamma rays, microwaves. If you chose C, gamma rays, you are correct. Fluorescent light is a type of incandescent light, is warmer than natural sunlight, is cooler than natural sunlight, is a yellow gold light. If you chose C, is cooler than natural sunlight, you are correct. Energy moves through space in waves, by physical force, mechanically, electromagnetically. If you chose A, in waves, you are correct. Which of the following best differentiates between long wavelengths and short wavelengths? Short wavelengths are visible, whereas long wavelengths are not. Long wavelengths are visible, whereas short wavelengths are not. Short wavelengths have low frequency, whereas long wavelengths have high frequency. Long wavelengths have low frequency, whereas short wavelengths have high frequency. If you chose D, long wavelengths have low frequency, whereas short wavelengths have high frequency, you are correct. Blank percent natural sunlight is visible, making up the visible spectrum of light. 10, 70, 35, 95. If you chose C, 35, you are correct. Infrared light is visible to the eye, is a bluish light, produce heat, is galvanic. If you chose C, produce heat, you are correct. Ultraviolet light has a long wavelength, is hot light, is invisible, slow chemical reaction. If you chose C, is invisible, you are correct. Blank light prompts the skin to produce beneficial vitamin D. Galvanic, ultraviolet, infrared, fluorescent. If you chose B, ultraviolet, you are correct. Which of the following is light therapy, also known as radiotherapy, laser therapy, heat therapy, phototherapy? If you chose D, phototherapy, you are correct. Light therapy is least likely to be used for the following clients. Clients would want to get rid of the wrinkles on their forehead. Clients that want to remove the hair on their backs. Clients that want to eliminate some of their age spots. Clients that want to lighten their hair color. If you chose D, clients that want to lighten their hair color, you are correct. This concludes this lesson. Make sure that you like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like more information about our school, please join our community at howardbrownonline.com. Howard Brown, where learning never stops.